I thought I'd do a quick little garden update for one or two of you who might care. Let's start over here. These are bell peppers, red, orange, still green for now. I'm leaving for Germany in 11 days, so I'm assuming I'm not actually going to get to enjoy any of these, which is going to be the case for a lot of stuff I'm growing, since if you're gone in August and September, you don't really get to enjoy fruit that you grow. You get some sun damage, I think that's what this is, on both the ones that are exposed, but whatever, you can just cut around it. These guys are jalapenos, which I think the plant's supposed to be taller for both, well, actually all three of the peppers I'm growing, but the jalapenos are putting off a lot of fruit, and they are really good looking. They're not huge, but they're all really good looking. My roommate likes red jalapenos, which is the same, it's the same plant, same species, so all you do is you just let it stay on the plant longer to ripen. And you got another red one in there somewhere. I can see it, but I can't get the camera to it without being in the way of the, or without causing shade. But yeah, both the jalapeno plants are awesome. They're doing really well. So I was kind of worried it wouldn't be hot enough for those, but I say that as it's fucking 90 degrees. This is a habanero plant, two of them, which I was extremely worried about because it's tiny. I think they're supposed to be about this tall, so more than twice as big as it is right now. But it started fruiting about 2 weeks ago, and that's I mean, I don't eat habaneros myself because I think they taste like dirt. Like, I don't mind the heat, but I don't like the taste at all. I think they taste like the soil you grow them in. But my roommate loves them, and I think that's a decent sized habanero. I mean, they're getting pretty big. Over here, probably my favorite two plants that I'm growing right now, cucumbers. Cucumbers I'm getting really good fruit from. I don't know if you saw my earlier post, but I had a cucumber that was larger than a roll of paper towels. So these are burpless, but they seem to have burps on them. At least that's what I assume these are. But oh well, I peel them anyway. Yeah, and these plants are doing awesome. Still getting new flowers, so I'll probably have cucumbers by the time I get back. Yeah, I mean, you guys are awesome. Little yellow ladybug. And yeah, so here are two that just started probably in the last couple of days. And you can see flowers all over. So I'll get lots of cucumbers. And I'll probably grow two more next year anyway, just so I can pretty much pluck a cucumber or two every day. Over here we got raspberries that are being dragged down by my cantaloupe. I was a little worried that I wouldn't get any fruit this year, but finally started getting some. They're pretty far from ripe still, but I don't know how long raspberries give off fruit. I might still be able to get some when I get back. But really my main goal this year for everything was just to let all the perennials establish, so it should be fine. Here's a cantaloupe plant. This thing took forever to start growing. It was probably like that big, not like what I'm showing you, like literally that big, for months, and then all of a sudden it just exploded. And if I back up, you can see it just overwhelms the bed, which is sort of a bad thing. Next season I'm going to grow them out here in containers, just let them go nuts. Because what's happening is, if we look at my blueberry bush, you can see that the cantaloupe wants to be friends, and it's dragging it down in the dirt just like it is with these raspberries. Blueberries are really lackluster this year. I mean, I got maybe 50% growth from how big it was when I bought it. It's not giving off too much fruit this year, but I don't really care. Because since I don't have netting over here, birds are getting it before I get to the blueberries anyway. I just really want the bushes to establish, so next year all have netting and hopefully get more. And since I'm getting rid of the cantaloupe next year, I'll add 2 more bushes over there. Strawberries. This front row here is hoods. I started with 3. 2 of them died because I planted them too deep. The crown, like where the stem starts, isn't supposed to be buried. So 2 of those died. This guy's doing really well. But these are June bearing, so I won't get any more strawberries from that this year. But I am letting runners establish. So yeah, I started with 6 strawberries. I have probably well over 20 at this point. This row is everbearing that I got from a former roommate. He gave me 3 of his plants that were doing well, and they're thriving here. I don't have any fruit right now. The same deal without netting. Birds are getting them before I do. But I just want the plants to establish. This is long term. But yeah, I've got runners going all the way back into the cantaloupe, so I'll let them grow at the base of the blueberry bushes. Hopefully that won't stunt them too much, but we'll see. As for cantaloupe, I've got probably 9 or 10 going right now, which I'm not supposed to be doing. You're supposed to only let 1 or 2 or 1 actual fruit start every 2 weeks, just so there's enough sugar for the fruit you want to develop to actually get some nice flesh on it. Little bumblebee. You do your work in here instead. Yeah, so I'm leaving in 11 days. None of these are going to be ripe, and my roommate doesn't like cantaloupe, so they're all going to go to waste. But this one might be ready. I might get to enjoy this guy the day before I leave. Maybe this guy too. The other ones, there's no hope. And, yeah. So these are probably going to go to waste unless my roommate gives them to the neighbor. I think that's it for this bed. So this is what the yard looks like. Got 2 beds over here. This is north, so all the sun comes from the south, so it's a really good position for it. We're probably gonna, I think the plan is to extend beds all the way to the fence. I think Brian wants to put a greenhouse in that corner, so get rid of the play structure. Let's see. Oh, and so these are hooked up to the sprinkler system, which is pretty neat. So back here, these all have little individual valves. You can turn them off, and then it's all soaker hoses. So this is all, these 2 beds are all automatically watered for me. Over here I got raised beds. Here's some chives that, these were in the beds with the peppers when we moved in. I moved them over here just so it's close to the kitchen. You can just walk out and grab some chives if you need it for whatever you're cooking. I got Walla Walla onions here. These guys seem to have stopped growing. And I took the advice that you're supposed to clip these, clip the green onion about 3 inches off the top to help them grow supposedly, but I did that about a month ago and they're not really growing anymore. We'll see. The soil around them might be packed too tight, so they can't expand. But these I'm not worried about. I'll be back to enjoy those. I'll get plenty of time for these guys. Here's some weeds that I thought looked pretty cool, so I grew them. I had spinach over here at the start of the season, and I got probably 2 harvests off each plant, and they started growing these weird flower things instead of actually putting out leaves. So I got rid of those. Probably won't replant them next year. Spinach is cheap enough at the store that it's worth just buying. What I did though is I grabbed a bulb of garlic from the kitchen, and I planted each clove individually, about 1 centimeter down. I think the round side down. And this is about 1 week of growth. So once the first bulb is ready, as long as you immediately take out 1 clove and put it right back where you got it, by the time you get to the last bulb, the first one should be grown again. And then again, as long as you take the just 1 clove and put it back where you got it, you pretty much have infinite garlic. Unless you're Greek or something and you eat garlic with breakfast in every meal of the day. Let's check out catnip, I guess. And we're letting the grass die out here. I think Brian wants to extend the deck pretty much to the gravel anyway, so we're not watering back here. Not even mowing, really. Let's see. Oh, catnip. This stuff is robust, so I was worried about it because I planted it right away from the store, and I was worried Guro was just going to trample it to death, but it seems to survive. So he'll stamp this down, and it will be right back up the next day. And if you've never felt catnip, this stuff is ridiculously smooth. It's pretty much like velvet. So that might be another reason Guro just loves trampling it to death. That one, nowhere near as big, but the soil around it's really shitty. It's really like a mixture of hard clay and sand, which is weird. I don't know what was in here when previous owners lived here. It's doing a lot better than I thought it would. Yeah, so this is my first season. I've been wanting to grow for a while, but never actually got around to it. Then we moved here and there were 2 beds. I said, fuck it. And on a whim, I just spent one day and planted everything, and it's doing a lot better than I thought. But if any of you have suggestions, I am all ears. Next year, I'm probably going to grow some tomatoes out there in containers too, unless we have beds built by then. And I'm going to see if I can smuggle legally. I'm gonna declare it. But I'm gonna see if I can bring some potato back from Germany, just because potatoes in Germany are ridiculously better than they are here. So yeah, any suggestions, I'm all ears.